Cat's head, pig snout, golden spire, Sam Young, Bally, fat and greasy, Pippin, Dockney, Honey Bowl, Summer John, Gibbons, Russet, April Queen, 8 Square, Lady Suddenly, under the golden canopy.
Davy Phillip. I'm one of the members of the education group at Cloughjordan Ecovillage, and I'm going to start this virtual 360 tour. Due to the current circumstances, we can't give you a tour of what we're doing here in Cloughjordan, so this is what we're going to offer now. So, Cloughjordan Ecovillage started 20 years ago, and we selected Cloughjordan as a place where we would bring our ideas and thinking. We've been looking exploring how we mainstream and normalise sustainability, and therefore joining an existing smart rural village rather than setting up a new village in a greenfield site was part of our intentions. So this is the stone building that will be the threshold of Cloughjordan Ecovillage, and here Cloughjordan Community Farm members pick up their vegetables. We have a Whole Food Buyers Club once a month where people pick up whole foods. But this building hopefully is going to be redeveloped along with this whole entranceway into education and tourism welcome centre for the Ecovillage. So as we come down through the pedestrian entrance of the Ecovillage, we come down into where the housing is, and you're going to meet different eco-villagers talking about different parts of the community on this 360 virtual tour. So let's go, enjoy this.
Hi, my name is Pa Finucane, and I'm the owner of Django's Hostel here, the green building you see over here. It operates as a visitors' accommodation centre for visitors to Cloughjordan, but more importantly, it operates as a visitors' centre to those who are attending the educational courses that we run here in Cloughjordan. Cloughjordan Ecovillage project is an educational charity. We're standing in the Market Square, what we call the Market Square, and the plan for the residential area of the Ecovillage is for 130 houses. 56 have been developed so far, and there are approximately 135 people living here in the Ecovillage now. We've used permaculture principles in the design of the residential area of the Ecovillage, and one of those would be an edible landscape, edible and productive landscape. A tree is a beautiful thing. If you want to plant a tree, why not plant a tree that's going to produce? Why not plant an apple tree or a fruit tree or a nut tree? We have planted about 1,000 trees in the residential area of apple trees, native Irish apple trees, and they're all in bloom. You can see the blossoms now coming out. It's a wonderful time of the year here. Me, personally, I think this is a great project. I'm very happy to be part of it, and proud indeed. It is the best decision I ever made. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Patrick O'Connor. I've had an allotment here in Ecovillage for maybe over 10 years or so, but only in the last few years really gotten into it. So between our allotment, between a growing space back at the house and a small 5 metre by 5 metre polytunnel, we provide most of the vegetables that we need for a family of 4. So allotments typically here, they're 10 metres by 10 metres, so some people choose to share an allotment because it can be a lot to take on when you're just getting into it. But once you get into it, you want to do more and more. So they're a lovely space to arrive to on a day like this. It can be a social space to work alongside other people who are also growing their own food. I think people do it for a lot of reasons. One level, your mind feels good, feel more connected and grounded. Also in terms of food security, between what's evident from modern agriculture's impact on nature and the complex supply chain being vulnerable to shocks, it's not very resilient. So we saw in the snow last year, or the current pandemic, it's been able to really look after our own food source, connect locally and understand how food is grown. Go back to the past, everyone would have probably grown a bit of food for their own family. So it's important to actually get out there, enjoy it and bring home some good food. So yeah, and also also learn how to fix your own rake when your own rake breaks, because the garden centres are closed now. So, yeah.
Hi, my name is Bruce Darrell, and I live in this eco-village, and I spend most of my time up in these gardens, which I call the Red Gardens Project. It's an educational and research project that I manage under the overall educational remit of this project. I tend gardens, and there's a number of different family scale gardens that I manage, plus a larger educational space and research space. And I make YouTube videos about it all and upload it to my Red Gardens YouTube channel. The gardens range in a number of different methods and approaches, each one following a different philosophical or practical approach to growing food. I have an extensive garden which focuses on growing the best quality vegetables by spacing plants farther apart and being really meticulous with soil fertility. Beside that is the intensive garden, which spaces plants very close together in an attempt to try to get as much food as possible out of a limited growing space. That involves a huge amount of compost and a huge amount of labor in digging the soil. Then there's the no-dig method, which is right beside that, which follows a very different philosophy. I also have a polyculture garden, which takes a much more integrated approach of growing plants together rather than segregating them. I have a simple garden, which is trying to get the most food out of a space with the least amount of work, using a carefully designed system of rotation of a couple of key crops. And then I have my polytunnel garden, which we're in at the moment. And that is by far the most abundant garden in this ecosystem in Ireland, because I can grow a lot more crops throughout the entire year. And all of this is part of an effort to try to figure out what is the best ways, or how the different ways of growing food compare to each other, and what are the pros and cons of all of these different gardens. And I try to synthesize all this stuff and broadcast it to the rest of the world through my YouTube channel.
Hi, my name is Jean, and I live here in Cloughjordan Ecovillage. I took up the cudgels of coordinating this project, which had been begun by other community members, and it's very much a collaborative thing with the community. It was set up as a sensory garden. We've kind of added in the wildlife element, and because we've so many birds here, it's quiet at the moment, but the mornings and the evenings are beautiful. And firstly, I suppose the tree here on the right, I feel really anchors this project into Mother Earth. And we are dealing with the five senses. And for me, I work with mindfulness. The five senses can help us to really anchor into the present moment. So over here, then we put in the grasses. Again, there's no wind today, and this would be the sound area. And then over here, we have the touch area, and we've got different elements, including wood, gnarly shaped wood, and some nice slates, recycled slates, and different shrubs. And then the food area, as you can see, is empty because we're really just about to plant it up. This is a work in progress. And another community member recently took some pallets from the bakery, so again recycled material, and built us a wonderful compost area, and we probably face that in wood. And then behind me here we have the scent area, and we have various herbs basically, which are particularly beautiful. And then the site here behind me, and there are little areas in between which have been slightly changed since the original, but these will be places where we can sit. And over here we have an area where we may put some sculpture, community sculpture, so all on a shoestring budget.
Hi, I'm Oliver Moore. I'm a member of Cloughjordan Community Farm. We're standing in a field of green manure, and that's part of what we do. It's an agroecological regenerative farm where we operate to the highest ecological standards. So we don't use biocides or mineral fertilizers. Instead, we have green manures, we have crop rotations, we have composted farmyard manure, and we have hand labour to produce dozens of vegetables for dozens of people over the course of a year. So anyone can be a member, anyone can join from the region. So up here on my right, we have a polytunnel and education area. That's for learning and for social farming. Here we have loads of green manure because the crop rotation dictated that's what should happen now. Then we have chickens, we have mushrooms, we have a few different polytunnels propagating and getting things ready, lots of little zones, and then the field scale crops, which this year are over here are leeks and onions, lots of kale, lots of carrots, and lots of potatoes. and then a compost area and a seed barn. So this whole area is 1/3 in green manures at any one time. This is a member-owned farm, so the members get a say in what happens, why it happens, where it happens, and get to get involved in what we do. We also have open-pollinated seeds primarily, and we save our own seeds, so that's more resilient. And so it's a fantastic way to guarantee your food security and your food sovereignty. We have food meters rather than food miles because the food is delivered to a distribution centre really close to here, just a few hundred metres away, twice a week. So we get to share in the abundance that the farm provides twice a week on the main street there. So the community farm is a really, really important and interesting and vibrant part of living in Cloughjordan, and it's a great way to get to interact with people and to get to have some say in what happens to land that is all around us.
My name is Aaron Bailey. I've been living here in the Ecovillage for 10 years now. So I've seen the development of this space, the community amphitheatre. So this space was realised as a 1916 Rising centenary project, referencing the poet, playwright and revolutionary Tomás MacDonagh, who was a native here from Cloughjordan. And this space is an example of creativity within the community. Creativity has always been central to the Ecovillage, and this space came about because we didn't really know what to do with the subsoil as the houses were being built. So they were all piled up, and then somebody had the idea to turn it into an amphitheatre and also a dark sky bowl and other aspects that are still being developed. So President Michael D. Higgins actually opened this space in 2017, and he spoke about it as a place for reimagining, to retell old stories, to reimagine the future that we want to get to, so that this space really speaks to that in terms of arts and creativity. So this backfield has been used for events such as the permaculture gathering. We even had our own festival here last year. And this space here can seat 300 people and has had poetry, music, even film, and amateur, professional and local theatre. Still in development.
I'm Mary Meehan. I live here in the Ecovillage and I'm a labyrinth facilitator. So Fáilte, welcome to our labyrinth that was built with stones from our land by some members of our community for the community. Since it has been built, it has really become a still point for many people in the community. And for me, it's become a heart-centred focal point of the community. There are labyrinths all over the world, including in Ireland, and millions of people walk labyrinths. People from all cultures and traditions. And there are various types of labyrinths. And this labyrinth here that I'm standing in is the most ancient labyrinth. And it's commonly known as sometimes a Seventh Circuit or a classical labyrinth or a Cretan labyrinth, and it's also called a Celtic labyrinth, and it is part of our Celtic spiritual tradition. So it's an ancient mystical imprint on the land. So a labyrinth is a very gentle space, and when we come to walk it, it's always encouraged that we come with a non-striving approach that counterbalances the busyness, distractions and disconnections present in everyday life. So there are many reasons for walking a labyrinth. People walk it for all kinds of reasons. As a mindful walk, to reduce stress, for solace, to release grief and anger. And for some, walking labyrinths is a spiritual practice. You can also walk it for another. And in this time of the coronavirus, it's a really comforting thing to walk a labyrinth for somebody who you love and care deeply about, but who cannot be with. Because labyrinths have a very settling effect. Labyrinths can be transformative. And they can also, as we walk them, be a metaphor for how we're living our lives. So as we walk around the labyrinth, while we're externally walking in it, it really is an inner journey. And there is an element, labyrinth walking can be sustainable, and it can help us sustain ourselves, and it can help us build inner resilience, which are very consistent with eco-village living. So if you have an opportunity to walk a labyrinth, I would suggest you do. Walk it at your own natural pace and with an open heart. Enjoy. Guramilam Hagiv, Slán Love Golair.
Hello, I'm Tony Ryan and I'm going to talk about the Biodiversity Trail, our community woodland and the Apple Walk. The Biodiversity Trail surrounds the whole Ecovillage. It is both an educational trail and a way to connect with nature. It is surrounded by many hedgerows, a lot of hedgerows of elm, whitethorn, blackthorn, cherry, ash, spindle. And these hedgerows are a source of food, really, for animal species and for humans. And the many herbs and the plants are used by us from time to time. We harvest the elderberries and the hawthorns as tonics for winter. And we have harvested the chestnuts and the plums and the cherries. The hedgerows are also a wildlife corridor for many animals. We've seen badgers, foxes, voles, mice, hedgehogs, many more and more animals are coming to us. They're also, of course, hedgerows are a very safe nesting place for birds, and the bird song here is just amazing. I've seen and heard robins and wrens and wagtails, all the different kind of tits, gold tits, grey tits, blue tits, thrushes and cuckoos. That's the hedgerows. But the part I love the most is our apple walk. The apple walk has 78 different species of apple trees, all grown from Irish seeds from seed savers. They have wonderful names like cat's head, pig's snout, grey pippin, golden spire, greedy pippin, golden spire. In fact, one of our members, Maggie, has written a song, a beautiful song, with all the names of this apple walk. It is truly wonderful to walk it in September when the boughs are heavy with apples. And then at harvest time, we celebrate this with our Apple Fest, Féile na Nua, which takes place every year on the European Day for Sustainable Communities. And it truly is a community celebration where we members press the apples and make apple juice. And we always have an apple competition of the best apple tart. And then our community woodland. We have 17,000 broadleaf trees, including most of our native species. We've alder and oak and sweet chestnut and wild cherry, rowan, birch, among many others. And all of this with a view to increasing biodiversity and attracting more wildlife, and as a way of learning about woodland skills. We also have a community apiary to promote beekeeping, and we have some trees here which we have grown in memory of some members who have died. So that's the Biodiversity Trail. It's just beautiful to walk, and we have informational signage all along the way for people to read, and which we use with our educational groups. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Julie Lockett. I've lived in the Ecovillage for nearly 10 years now. I'm going to talk to you a bit about our houses. We all have highly energy efficient houses that are hooked up to our district heating system. Some of us also have photovoltaic panels on our roofs that generate electricity. This street here is a good example of showing you different choices of roofs in the Ecovillage. So the house behind me here has a stainless steel roof. The house over here with the red window frames has recycled plastic tiles. The house behind me just has regular roof tiles. This house here has a zinc roof, and they also have photovoltaic panels And this house here behind me has a living roof, and you'll see they're currently putting up photovoltaic panels on the walls of their house because they can't put them on a living roof. Some of the houses in the Ecovillage are timber frame. In fact, most of them are timber frame, but we also have some other build systems like cob, which is made with clay and straw and soil and sand and water mixed together. You'll also see Rye Bakehouse and Bread School. This is our community bakery. We have a wood-fired oven, an Allen Scott black oven. And you'll see our store of timber here in front of the bakery. And we season all of our timber for a good year before we put it in the oven to get the most energy out of the timber.
Hello, I'm Peadar Kirby. We're coming to the end of our virtual tour. You've been around the Ecovillage, you've seen and heard from various members what we're doing, both to try to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions and to try to foster biodiversity and to promote a better way of living. And what all this points to is that we need to do this together. We need to do this in community. It's very limited what we can do as single individuals. And that's why our theme is this. It's building sustainable community. Each of these three words are really important. We seek to promote Irish here as well. So we talk about the Tógáil Comhluadar in a Bhunacha. A community that will go on. And when President Higgins opened our community amphitheatre in April 2017, he told us, and I felt it was really full of wisdom, he said that in community we encounter each other in our vulnerability. And of course, encountering one another in our vulnerability can be very difficult, and it may be one of the reasons why they say that up to 90% of intentional communities fail, because you're trying to lay the foundations of strong and enduring community while also encountering one another in all our vulnerabilities. So really building community is among the biggest of our challenges. And we've had difficult years since we began. Particularly, we were very badly hit by the severe economic downturn of 2008. We've learned a lot about sustainability through all that. And I suppose it's at times like these difficult times of the coronavirus pandemic, or the beast from the east, as we called it a few years ago, that really cold snap that hit us, that we realise that community really does offer that sort of basic support that we need. And we're so lucky here to be living in it. And it's the lessons that we're harvesting from that we want to share through our educational activity. So we invite you to come and visit us. We invite you to join us on this journey where together we try to develop the pathways towards that resilience, that low carbon and that flourishing future that we all so badly need. Gur míle maith agat, agus slán.
Honey, peach and golden, hear them sweetly fall. Oh, there's the bloody butcher in among them all. Sam Young has fallen for the sweet granola leaf, so heavy, ripe and ready beneath